Hello everyone. Welcome to Earth Week special WNS Denali Pro Tip series. I'm your host Vaishali Baid. Today we have a sustainability expert in the house, CB Bhattacharya. CB Bhattacharya is the Ed J. Yoffer Chair in Sustainability and Ethics at the Katz Graduate School of Business at the University of Pittsburgh. He is well-known expert in business strategy innovation aimed at increasing both business and social value. CB Bhattacharya has written ample books, articles, and publication. And one of my favorite pick is his book named Small Actions, Big Difference. So with further ado, let's welcome CB Bhattacharya to our show. Welcome, Professor, to our show.
Thank you, Vaishali. Nice to be here.
So before we start on the tips, Professor, a quick question. Why do you see a compelling business case for sustainability for companies?
At this point of time, I want to ask the counter question, which is, what is the business case for the alternative? If you look at the growth in emissions, the growth in water usage, the growth in waste, all the environmental issues that we are facing, all the societal issues we are facing in terms of rising inequality and an economy that only works for a few. You put all that together, this is not sustainable. The world that we are living in right now is not sustainable. And sooner or later, we will have to grapple with kind of climate change, which is breathing down our necks. I mean, if we thought the pandemic was bad, we have no idea what's coming down the pipe. So the only way out for us as a collective, as a species, is really to kind of transform our business models to be sustainable. We need them to be sustainable because business is the engine that kind of drives, the economy. And so I think of three aspects of sustainability: people, planet, profit. Without our people, we cannot do anything. Without our planet, we cannot do anything. And also without profit or money in the economy, we cannot do anything. So to have that three-legged stool operating in unison, we really need sustainability, and we need sustainable business models. And to go towards sustainable business models, so you alluded to my book, Small Actions, Big Difference. I've laid out a very, very simple framework that companies can use to embed sustainability into kind of their corporate DNA. And the first tip that I want to leave your audience with is kind of define your domain of ownership. What is it that you want to do in the area of sustainability? So what is your purpose? Every business needs to have a purpose. Purpose means, why do we do what we do? Answering that question. Do we sell cars or do we provide mobility? I mean, there's a huge distinction. Do we sell soap in the context of an antibacterial soap? Do we sell soap, or do we save lives, which is what Unilever proclaims with their Lifebuoy soap? So purpose is absolutely the North Star for transforming one to a company to a sustainable business model. And so that's the domain of ownership that you have. If you want to endow your employees with a sense of sustainability ownership, the first thing is to bring that purpose to life. The second thing that you need to do is you need to concretize or offer some concrete goals, some measurable goals that folks can, latch onto and get deep understanding of. Beyond that, in terms of the second tip, I would say that you need to launch your sustainability plan in your company and beyond. And what that means is you need to entice and enable your stakeholders to take sustainability ownership. What does this really mean? It means, first of all, you've got to appeal both to their head and their heart and say, look, being sustainable is not only the right thing to do, which is the appeal to the heart, but it's also the smart thing to do, which is the appeal to the head, because it's going to save you money. That's the beauty of sustainability or sustainable business models. They actually end up making us more money and more profit, at the same time taking better care of the planet and people. But enticing people or creating motivation is not enough. We have to create ability, alongside. And how do we create ability? We actually invest in training, management systems, and everything else that goes so that people can do their work, their sustainability work, much more easily. And final tip is in terms of creating a culture of sustainability in the organization. So all organizations are not the same, and that culture really makes the difference between a great organization and an also ran. And how do you create that culture? Well, you can have sustainability measurements or progress measurements that you share feedback with your employees, kind of, hey, you guys have reduced so much carbon in the last month. That's very inspiring for individuals to see. You can also create award ceremonies where you kind of call out people who've gone the extra mile in sustainability and reward them in front of the whole organization. And successful companies do this to great aplomb. And finally, and last but not least, you can create a sense of collective ownership by collaborating with traditional competitors, and so wicked problems like deforestation cannot be solved by one company. And that's where you need to put sustainability in the pre-competitive space and collaborate with your traditional competitors so that collectively we can solve these wicked problems or the tragedy of the commons problems. So this, in a nutshell, is kind of the model that is presented in my book, Small Actions, Big Difference, which also has a lot of examples from the many companies that I studied. But I would say that this would be, kind of the start of the journey for us to transform our business models to be more sustainable, because as I see it, that's the only way forward for us to survive as a species.
So connecting to what you mentioned, Professor, on business case and objectives, it's also essential to, back it with analysis if we are producing a business case or setting sustainability objectives. So simply put, I see like 5 aspects around it. First, we start, gaining visibility into our data and internal insights. And based on that data, we try to, set priorities based on industry and sectors where we are operating. And going forward, we try to map these priorities with our business function, which is quite essential to bring those results. And to just, start on the future journey, we need to define certain metrics and indicators. And last but not the least, the benchmark exercise of creating market analysis to just stay ahead what is happening in the market and to know what is best in class approach. So that was really helpful, Professor. And I really thank you for your time today. And just to wrap up our today's show, we have a kind of a small giveaway to our audience, 4 keywords from this presentation, which is ownership, stakeholders, creating a culture for sustainability and implementing sustainability, and backing the sustainability objective with business analytics. Thank you. Thanks so much, CB Bhattacharya, for your time and insights today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vaishali, for having me on your show.
Thank you.